Nice one.
Yes, Tony Blackburn was there at the birth of radio in 1967. He was his first breakfast show presenter, and probably more than anybody else epitomised the BBC's approach to pop music. Before and since then, he's jockeyed discs and otherwise entertained on any number of radio and TV stations, great and small. On Radio 2, he now presents Pick of the Pops, a programme which has been on about as long as he has, even longer. And on the 29th of this month, he and Radio 2 are celebrating 50 years of Pick of the Pops with a documentary, and there's a 3-CD disc coming out as well. Tony, you're a natural for Pick of the Pops. I can't surprise you haven't been doing it until about a year or so you've been doing it.
Well, I wasn't asked, actually. You know, no. I always hoped to get on Radio 2, but it took 30 years.
Yes.
And at last they asked me.
You're too young and hip before
Well,
then.
that was it, I think probably. That's what I like to think,
Yes.
Clive. No, but it's a natural programme, and I love doing it. I've done it just for nearly a year now.
Yeah.
And we've introduced the retro jingles, you know, from my old pirate radio days as well.
Yeah.
And that's added to the flavour of the programme. And also, we're doing it live as well, which I wanted very much to do.
Yes, because that's your basic skill as a disc jockey, to be able to sort of cope with things as things go
Well,
on.
if I have any skill as a disc jockey, it's very kind of you to say that.
Well, what is the essence of a disc jockey, especially as practiced by you and your generation of disc jockey, or even up to date with, say, someone like Chris Tarrant doing it fairly recently on? You've got to be sort of relentlessly jolly the whole time.
Well, I am relentlessly jolly, actually. No, I think, the difference, I suppose, now is that I would class myself as a personality disc jockey. I mean, that's what Radio 2 is all about, is personalities, whereas some of the radio stations now, of course, it's, 3 in a row and a time check, which I call monkey radio.
Yeah.
Monkey can do that.
But most of your work was, your sort of famous work, was done not, advocating a particular type of music, but just sort of saying, hello, good morning, welcome, it's a lovely sunny day, and here is the one that's at number one, or here's the one that's just been released.
Well, I do love music. I mean, I've always loved soul music, particularly. Yeah. But at the same time, I like to try and entertain as well. And I suppose my style has always been sort of slightly cheesy.
Yes.
And but trying to make people laugh a little bit. And I don't really understand why it is that we have to take music that seriously.
Yeah. So it's good quality cheese you're doing.
It's
Brie or Stilton rather than an old mousetrap.
That's what I like to think. It's not old mousetrap. But some people might think that.
Well, of course, you were...
John Peel thought that.
You were sort of parodied and, taken apart by the Fast Show with that sort of smashy and nicey stuff. Did you
I loved that.
Yes.
I loved it. That is exactly me. I was nicey, and Alan Freeman was smashy. And I thought it was great. Pop-a-doodle-tastic, mates, and all that sort of stuff. I never actually said pop-a-doodle-tastic, but I do now.
Yeah. But most of what you say is like that.
It is like that. It is like that, Clive. Yes, I'm terribly shallow.
But did you mind all that? Because they even sort of made fun of that sort of thing when you were calling to your when you were breaking up with your first wife, sort of saying, "Oh, come here." You had a bit of a breakdown, really. Would you say?
Well, I did a little bit, I suppose. Yes, it went slightly over the top. I bored the nation for quite a time, actually, of my marriage breakup.
So it was a slightly cruel of them to do a sort of parody with you in the show as well.
Paul Whitehouse did actually. Well, you see, I didn't.
Oh, he's got to apologise afterwards.
I didn't know that was going to be. And I only read the first bit of the script.
Yes,
they didn't show me the rest of it.
Now, the sort of odd thing that happened to you a few years ago was you went.
A lot of odd things.
Well, a lot of things, but I can't do all of them. But the thing you did with, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, you went into that, and presumably people thought, oh, he'll be a bit cheesy and he'll be voted out after a club. You damn well won it, and everybody decided they loved you again. Well,
it was a surprise to me, actually. Up until that moment, I thought the whole nation hated me. But it was very, very pleasant to do that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it sort of changed me as a person a little bit.
Really?
Because I loved it, yes. My wife hasn't noticed, but it's made me sort of more at ease with people. And when I went into the jungle, I fell in love with the rainforest, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I came out, I was a slightly different person. And I remember when
can I just pick you up on that? Why do you say you need to sort of get to like people again? Because as a populist disc jockey, you are a people entertaining person.
I was just better with people. I found that quite a lot of people used to irritate me slightly.
Yes.
And but they don't so much now. Nobody can irritate me anymore.
So it was like a Zen-like experience.
It was a little bit. Yes, it was a little bit. I feel a lot better for it, and I love doing the programme. And I remember when I came out, I was filling my car up at a petrol station, and a dear old bloke of about 82 sort of staggered over to me on sticks and things, and he patted me on the back and said, Tony, you've done our generation so much good. I thought that was so sweet.
And that was Noel Edmonds at his finest, wasn't it?
But it was. I mean, it was a terrific thing, and I really loved doing that program.
In your autobiography, you say, as a lot of people, a lot of actors say this, you're basically a shy person.
Yes.
And you know that you're a bit awkward when you were younger. But
I was.
But why then go into a trade, a profession that not only requires you to be cheery, but you made you very famous. You were being on Top of the Pops as well on television and doing live gigs and things like that. You were, I mean, as you mentioned, you took full advantage of being almost as famous as the rock stars that you were presenting.
Well, at the time, Radio 1 disc jockeys were as famous, I think. You know, I mean, it was a terrifically big station. And
so you had the attention from the girls and things like that.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
And you took full advantage of that.
Absolutely, Clive.
So why go into that? Why go into all that then if you're a shy person and find it all too much of a...
I was shy. Yes, I was shy when I was a youngster. I think the best disc jockeys and best broadcasters that I've known have been quite shy.
Yeah.
And we're not like that the whole time. I mean, I don't go home and start telling my wife joke after joke and things like that. There is a slightly more serious side to me.
Yeah. Wives don't like that, I've discovered.
No, they don't. But I mean, I've been so lucky. I mean, I've had a sort of a lifetime of really playing great music and talking a load of nonsense as well, and that's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And now ending up with Pick of the Pops, which Alan Freeman started 50 years ago. That's what we're basically celebrating.
Yeah, because it actually started before that, didn't it? So the 50 years rather arbitrary period, but certainly I'm of an age that I can remember that was the great moment. And then, but in those days it was exciting because we didn't know what was going to be number one and that sort of whole countdown. But the way things have developed and the record sales and everything have changed. So is there still a need for a sort of Top of the Pops, Pick of the Pops kind of programme?
Well, I think there is. I mean, it's going back in time. It's taking 2 charts every week. And I mean, Alan Freeman... he to me did this wonderful chart rundown. When I took the programme over, I found it terribly difficult to do it. And I took the theme music home and rehearsed it because it is quite tricky. And then I found out why Alan Freeman found it so easy, because he doesn't do the up 17 place and down 17 like I do. And so we've made it more difficult for ourselves. But Alan and I, we knew one another very well, and Phil Swern, who is my best friend, and he's the producer of the show, known him some 47 years. And Alan, Phil and I, we knew one another very well. So, to take over this programme for dear old Alan, I think he hoped that he likes the way I do it.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
It's a wonderful programme to do.
And I think I mentioned there's a CD coming out, which is a bit bizarre because these Pick of the Pops is all the best-selling records over 3, 4, 5 decades. So.
Yes, but we've got a little booklet that comes out with it as well. We've got a booklet. Oh, it's not just
added value.
It's not just CDs.
I'm going to have to stop you now.
No
Tony,
way.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yes.